My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition LLC. I thought I'd do a demonstration live today. And what I'm doing today is we have our projector sitting way back there. We're using the Sony VPL FH36. I use this once in a while. This is a projector that has a very special lens attached to it. We call it an extended narrow zoom lens. It's one we use for if you're developing a dedicated theater room setup and you want your projector to be sitting back a little farther from the screen. You want to make sure that you're not going to be hitting the ends of the chairs and walls and all that stuff. The projector is going to expand out. These are designed to be able to shoot a narrow image where you need to hit, pinpoint the screen, and expand. That's what that lens is designed to do. So that's what we're using right now, because at the distance we're at, we need to be to get through the hallway and hit the screen at the same time. So I'll show you what we're doing. We're in Taco Land right now, so you know that's my cat area. That's the projector right there. That's the special lens on it. And that allows me to be able to shoot an image all the way through that doorway and hit that screen. That's what they're designed to do. Let me find the fire stick for this. Now, question we're asking, because I get it so much from people have gray screens and white screens. The question what it comes down to is, can you see contrast? Black screens can see white levels, and virtually they couldn't see white levels, it'd be virtually impossible for them to pick up anything. Nothing would come up. Every demonstration I would do wouldn't pick up. My customers wouldn't pick up. As a matter of fact, my partner's going to be doing a demonstration today. He just got the Cinema Black. No, Cinema Black. Sorry, wrong choice of words. We don't even make that yet. Cinema Black's not even made yet. He's got the professional Cinema One. He's got that one. He's going to be hooking that up pretty soon and showing that off. But as I said before, even at one point, black paint basically can pick up a somewhat level, but again, compared to our technology side by side, it still can't maintain a white level. But a gray screen, can it see contrast? Because in all the demonstrations that I have seen on YouTube, and every time they would show off a projector or whatever, they would skip contrast levels galore. And if they do happen to show contrast levels, they're done in dark environments, so the contrast levels can pick up better. I have never ever seen a gray screen perform in a fully lit environment and show up a 100% contrast level. So the answer is no. So you want to show you, I told you we changed our environments, we were to change things around. Now we're in Taco Land. Taco doesn't mind, he's in the window screaming at customers. Our projector sits here. Back it up a little bit. We're hooked on something. It sits here. It's going through the narrow hallway, and it's actually hitting the screen. And this is supposed to be a diner area. This is the hallway area, which has a lot of light. Now the question is, can a gray screen do this? Oh, you can also see my screen in the next room over there. Now, I was just talking about that a few minutes ago, about how our black technology receives white light. There's my screen in the next room. I'm actually going through my email accounts over there. I'll put a snowstorm on back there, so we can have something playing in the background. Hold on for a minute. Let me go over and get something for that video. So we got nice scenery of a tropical beach in the next room. So that way you can see it right from there. See? I should have moved it over a little bit more with the line shift. Yeah, it's a little bit more, because I want to see my screen in the next room too. So let me go move it over just a little bit more with the line shift. There we go. All right, we should be good from there. But I do want to see that screen in the next room. Sorry about that. All right, so there you can see my screen in the next room. That's way over there. So again, in order for the black technology, in order to read a white level, you can't see that in there unless it can't register. And on top of that, on the next room, we do portrait mode on my PC, so I can pull out read text 18 feet from my screen. So we can prove we can pull white levels. The issue is, can a gray or white screen pull a 100% black level? Because the black level is extremely important. And why the black level is extremely important, black level plays a role in two things. Number one, ambient light rejection technology does not work on light gray screens because, again, they have a bad habit of washing out and fading out in fully lit environments. As you've seen in the YouTube videos we've seen already. Color, they don't pick up color too well either because, again, if your screen's going to wash out because it's not ambient light rejection, guess what else falls along with it? Color will fall with it too. And again, since you can't see contrast, that you can't pull that either. So it's called a domino effect. One fails, they all fail. That's why you don't see screens doing demonstrations in fully lit environments, because they can't maintain, and this is why they give you the excuses. You have to be in an ambient light controlled environment, aka our screen's not ambient light rejection. Any screen that has true ambient light rejection doesn't have to be in a controlled environment. It works or it doesn't. Calibrating to get your colors to work correctly. Someone was saying, oh, calibrating is basically adjusting. You know it is. And they have actually programs, and they have discs, and they have all kinds of stuff that you can download to calibrate TVs and projectors. It's not going and adjusting things inside of your projector. No, that's called adjusting, not calibrating. You guys got, again, I hate it when people take the original, because I've been here before they have been, a lot of people have been, when they were calling calibrating, where you needed basically special equipment and discs and programs to go in and pinpoint and calibrate your TVs or whatever. Matter of fact, there's a program for the OLEDs that allows you to actually be able to pick up and calibrate dead pixels on the TV. You're not adjusting that in your option. That's called adjusting, not calibrating. It's the difference between the two. Let me see. We didn't lose the remote control already. We got two here. Yeah, wow. Losing our remote controls. I want to change out my image in here, put something else in here. Well, what if I took it with me in the office? No, I probably did take it with me in the office. Let me put this to the side real quick. We took it with us in the office. Up there, it is on the table. So we got our lights on in the other room. We got our lights on in here. We got our lights on in this small room right here. 12K demonstrations. For blocking. Yeah, we are a little bit blocking. Here we are. 12K demonstrations. I'm going to go over to the kitty cat over here. And let's just show you where my lights are in my environment. So how come we don't see any gray screens? Let me get this out of the way. Any gray screens in the environments that we sit in. I can literally move my screens anywhere in this apartment with all lights on and still maintain on whatever projector we choose. I can drop that 1,000 lumens and still pull. So why in the world gray screens can't pull? Because again, I told you, it's an outdated product. It's been around for about 10 to 12 years, probably a little older than that. Because when I first started, I started back, let's see, 2012, I think? Was it 2012? No. Farther back than that. Around 2008, somewhere in that area. We got videos that date that far back. Remember, we got like over 8,000 video demonstrations, so we go way, way, way back. So again, like I said before, you know, that stuff then didn't even do that stuff that it claims to do the other day. The only difference is the reason why it looks different because of the projectors, that's all. We didn't have 4Ks then. Best projector was a 1080p projector. So we can see white levels, no problem. The issue is gray screens and white screens can't pick up contrast. We have enough to drop below. Can we drop below? Because I got a gray wall right underneath me. I don't know. The beautiful thing about lens shift, isn't it wonderful? So my walls in here are an interesting shade of gray. They actually are the same shade of gray that you would pick up on most screen paint products. Black background. Beta fish. Yeah, the speaker's in the next room. Bum, bum, bum. So where is the contrast? Because the background of that screen is supposed to be 100% solid black. As you can see, it doesn't even exist on the gray screen. And the white screen is going to have the exact same issue. So where is it? If you want to do something in your hotel lobby, maybe some tropical fish, and you want to do something nice, anything involving heavy contrast, levels, or color, where is the rest of the screen? Mind you, the projector I'm using behind me is a Sony VPL FH36. These are 5200 lumen projectors. This is one of the most powerful projectors we have here in the apartment right now. My projector in the next room is a Chrissy, and that projector is at 5000 lumens. These are 52s. So a 5200 lumen projector that's pushing, let's see how many feet we are from the screen. Can't pick up on a gray surface. Yeah, told you it don't work. Let's get some measuring tape in here so we can get an approximate size where we're at. That's what I explained to you, they don't work. Now, as I said before, people want to make these statements at the end of the day. You have one projector, maybe two or three. Right now, between even when I cut back at the place, I had about 70 units. Right now, I'm around probably about 37 units right now that I own. So let's go here. Most people do these demonstrations don't even have that many projectors to begin with. Sorry, Taco, but I'm moving stuff around here. I don't get grumpy grapes with me. Don't get grumpy grapes. Was going to be exceedingly mad because I'm moving his environment about. He doesn't like that. He's in his window so he's occupied. Let's see. That's right, because I want to be sure how far we're back. All right, so where the wall was hitting. Come back over here. Mind you, we're in Taco Land. Let's see, 14 feet. And some change. At 5200 lumens. Mind you, we're passing through our overhead LED lights here. And then we have another set of LED lights here in the hallway. So it doesn't make a difference the screen size. Because at the end of the day, gray screen or white screen can't pull. I told you on camera, I said it doesn't make a difference whether it's 1000 lumens, whether it's 50 lumens, whether it's 1200, 1500, or even if you want to go to the big boys of 4000, well, actually not 4000 anymore, but you can get an everyday house projector for 4000 lumens now. 5000, 6000, 7000, they don't pull on gray or white screens. It doesn't even make a difference. And for those of you who have projectors that have a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast, then show me. Show me at the end of the day a projector with that kind of contrast power. Show me a fully lit environment. And show me a star field. And show me that your screen is not going to come up looking gray. That 2,000,000 to 1 is going to turn that gray screen into what we have over here. That's not going to happen. I got a projector over here that has a 22,000 to 1 contrast. It doesn't pick up. Again, you can see my screen in the next room. Fire sticks, man. Things work when they want to work. I hate those things, man. Work one day, don't work the next day. Work one day, don't work the next day. Contrast test. We don't seem to be having any problems here with white levels. We pick up with no problem. Again, can't see contrast. If I decided to, in this apartment, to use just the gray walls in here, it would have been an absolute nightmare for me in here. Because nothing would have picked up. This is what I would have been going through all day. Nothing would have picked up. Not even at 5,200 lumens. And that's a 1080p projector, 1920 by 1200 venue. It won't pick up in here. Let me bring this stand down a little bit. That way you can see. So again, for those of you who want to sit there and argue with me and fuss with me about how gray screens are more superior, then you show me a contrast level. Show me that that screen can generate a 100% black level in a fully lit environment. I'll give you a week. I'll pop through YouTube, I'll do a little field trip, and I'm not talking about one person, two people, I'm talking about anybody who has a gray screen, anybody. Show me a 100% contrast. Do you see the environment? I want to make sure you understand what I mean by well-lit environment, because I don't want to see any poor demonstrations where people are sitting in these dark environments. Do you see my baseboards? You see how well-lit this area is in here? Let's go on to the next section. See how well lit my area is in here? This is what I'm expecting to see in areas. See how you see my baseboards? My LED lights don't even fire up in here. That's what I'm expecting to see. You guys will sit in the dark with Christmas tree lights splashed behind the back of your screen and say, look, wait, no, you're not doing that. Fully lit environment. No caves in there. Can't stand to do caves. Where are the, let me see for this one. Yeah, figure out why. This one's working perfectly fine over here now. Let's see, so far. Not exactly. Oh, I'm looking for one of these. Oh, you're not detected. All right, there we go. Come on, now, puppy. Come on. There. Even having an ongoing battle with my freaking projector here, eh? So just walking again, oh. I don't want to leave myself alone. We have to have that talk today. But we don't. Yeah, stop rubbing your face against the projector. I gotta Velcro everything to the floor now because of you. Literally, seriously, I'm gonna have to Velcro everything to the floor if you keep rubbing your fat face on it. Sorry about that. My cat has a habit of rubbing his head against the projector we had downstairs on the floor, and he keeps shifting it from one section to the next. Let's go with, let me see. Stay away from the stand. There you go. Now, we'll be firing up in the next room. While that's playing, I need to start here. This is not that. All right, cool. And this one is this one here. That's that one here. All right, then it's got to be this one here. Food's right over there. Just move your stuff around. Don't come here fussing. Go back in your window. Your window all day today. There we go. Let's go over here. IV-VIII demonstrations. AK desired nature. I should put the whatchamacallit here. This would be better. And that way I got a shot of my screen and that screen at the same time. And the Great Wall. That's perfect. Oh, we need a white sheet of paper too while we're at it. Because, you know, I see them skipping that contrast level as much as possible. So the question is, with where people have gray screen products, where are the contrast demonstrations? Because I can literally go on YouTube right now and go on a search and we can't find your contrast demonstrations. Let me switch it up. Let's go to my screen in the next room over here. Now these are questions we're asking, because again, what's the difference? Also too, another question, what's the difference between a white screen and a gray screen? Keep out of trouble, Henri. I'm watching you. And this is very important. Like I said, I'm not talking about one person, two people. I'm talking about everyone who has a gray screen. How come we never see the contrast levels, ever? When I see contrast being done, it's either some contrast done with a lot of color in it, no fully lit environments. Where are your contrast levels? I'm gonna take me a field trip today. I'm gonna go right through YouTube. I'm gonna go on a hunt and try to find some light gray screens or white screens or whatever you can find showing contrast levels that match our demonstrations. Now again, we're doing another demonstration. I got a question. What's the difference between a white screen and a gray screen? I'll put the links at the bottom where they can do the demonstrations at. Doesn't make a difference what projector you had. Doesn't make a difference if it's short though, or it doesn't really make a difference. What's the difference between a gray screen? How much of an improvement can a gray screen give you over a white screen? These are the tests that you should be seeing. Instead of seeing demonstrations of a screen sitting there with colors and stuff in the dark, and no, that's bull crap. Gray paint can do the same thing. Network gray, all those products can do the exact same thing. What makes that gray screen paint different than a household product? Now, like I said, when the backers came over, that's the first thing that came up. Well, I can do the same thing with black paint. I got black paint in my garage. I can just get a black bed sheet. That actually came up. So I had to prove to them that no, you can't do that. The videos aren't enough. I had to go and say, here you go, take the black paint, put it up there, and show them there's a difference. But you can't do that. So what is the difference of anybody going in and buying a great product versus something you can pick up at Home Depot or Lowe's? What is the difference? Have to be to show that. First strike you have against you with gray screen, again, you do not see color and you don't see contrast. Turn your lights on, you'll find out. If you feel at the end of the day that your gray screen works perfectly fine, turn your lights on. Do the exact same demonstration I'm sitting in right now. And turn your lights on and see what happens. Your screen will wash out. You get this kind of cloudy, gray, ashy look to the screen. Poor contrast level. Go outside at 5 o'clock in the evening, do the same demonstrations we do. Do it inside, see what happens. I guarantee you, when I go on my field trip today and I go through YouTube, I guarantee you that all the demonstrations we hunt for involving contrast and fully lit ambient light projection technology, every last one we'll find will be sitting in the dark. See how beautiful the commercials come up on our end? How the image is sharp and clear? Look at the screen below. Not even there. And mind you, my projector is 5200 lumens. This is the big boy. This is the FA36 by Sony. It has 5200 lumens attached to it. We can't get 5200 lumens to pull off a gray and white screen. Bro, your projectors underneath this technology is definitely not going to work. 3000 lumens? No, that's not going to happen if we can't get 52 to pull. And there's my screen in the next room, showing off a beautiful beach. And then over here, behind my strike bag, we got our screen way over there on our short throw projector. That's why I said I see demonstrations on birds, I see demonstrations on bright colors every time. I guarantee right now, I'm going to say it before we go on into the search. Every gray screen, every white screen, we're going to pull up. I guarantee you, they're trying to do it in a fully lit environment. It'll be nothing but beach scenery. It'll be nothing but really bright images, lots of color. Because again, this is something that's going to fade less. We're going to be hunting for contrast levels. I want to see at least one demonstration in a fully lit environment showing off a very heavy contrast level. Well, as I said before, anybody who feels, not just one individual, anyone who feels that my gray walls in the apartment won't match your screen, I'll buy your product. I have put that out there many times. Shoot me an email. My email's right there. When I put all my information, I have my emails on my website. It's everywhere. You contact me and you tell me where to buy, and I'll buy your product. And I'll put it right against this gray wall. Now, the big question is, do you have enough confidence in your product that you won't match a wall in my apartment? Because that's going to hurt your business extremely bad if you match that wall, or even come close to matching it. And the reason why we haven't received any emails is because no one's willing to take that step. I think I'm going to do a video called Match My Wall Challenge. I'm going to put it on my website so that way we can get to it anytime we want to. To go check at the bottom to see if anyone has posted any form of yes or exception of basically going against my gray wall. Oh, it's this one right here. As I said before, you can't do contrast levels in the dark. And the reason why, what happens is the customer decides they want to turn the lights on. Then what? Because you never tested the product in a fully lit environment, you don't know the outcome. I know what the outcome's going to be. The screen's going to wash out. So people who do those, what do you call it, pampered environments, oh, that's a good one right there. Pampered environments, you're expecting for the customer, only way that product's going to work unless they're sitting in your environment. And I've seen that already when I watch people customer demonstrations. Every demonstration, the customer is sitting in a poorly lit environment or dark environment because that's the only way the screen's going to work. Customers who did try to go outside the line and try to use a product in a fully lit environment, like opening up curtains on a 200-inch screen, well, the outcome was bad. But when they darkened the environment, the product somewhat worked. So the only way that product will work unless you're in the same environment as the person who produced the demonstration. Now, people in my demonstrations, my customers, can be in fully lit environments, which I showed you on the Crystal Edge page. We have our customer demonstrations over there, and you'll see every single customer sitting in a fully lit environment, even some of them outside, just like we are, and the screens are pulling. Man, somebody's very locked out. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record, re-record some of the customer demonstrations for one individual, because it's the only ones I've seen so far with customer demonstrations. I'm going to record his, put it on our website. We're going to call it customer comparison page versus what our customers are getting versus everybody else. Let's go with the color red. I wonder if someone's locked behind the door. We have a security door. Let me check something for a minute. Because that happened to me, that sucks. It sounded like a door, but that sounded more like glass. Oh, I thought someone was locked behind that door.
No, just me and locked out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. I thought someone was locked behind the security door. You get locked behind the security door, you are done. That happened to me. And they can't hear you. Unless you're on the bottom floor, they can hear you. Well, that's the only problem, the security door. If you get locked behind there, you're done. She got kids in there, I need to wake up. Let me see. There you go. Sorry about the knocking, people. Someone's just trying to get into their place. As I said before, if you can't see contrast, you can't. Look at Nosy. Look at Nosy already. Look at Nosy. My cat is so nosy. Your tie's on backwards. There you go. You fixed it. Thank you. Thing drives me crazy. I'll fix that tie. Come here, Taco. Yeah, I'm so nosy. Come on. Why are you being so... Can you get out of the way of the shop, please? Hey, Taco. Get out of the way of the shop. Come on. Move it. Chop, chop. Thank you. All right, which way are you going back to do? Come on, Taco. Come on. You're doing too much today. Come on. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go to your window, man. Chill out. Thank you. All right. Come on. Do you need some assistance? Taco. Go somewhere and move it. Stop being so nosy. Well, let me see. He's as nosy as going to be. Blue screen. And hopefully it got in. Yeah, what happened to me, I was blessed. Because I almost literally got locked out of the building. Once you reach the front, you can't get in because it's security locked. Can't get in through the back, it's security locked, and there's cameras that wrap around this unit. So what happened to me when I was taking my trash out, I had the keys on the original little flimsy keychain that they give you, wherever it is. I should have taken them off and put them back on. She should have a backup key. I always have backup keys on me. But should have taken it off, which I didn't do. And in the process, when I was taking out the trash, my keys came off. But thank God they landed in my pocket. I thought they hit the streets, but they hit in my pocket. When I went to go grab my keys to come in, I was missing like 3 keys. I was like, what the freak? And you can't get back into this place. It's really hard to get back in, but you're really knocking on the door to get it. So bottom line is, when I went to go check inside my pocket, my keys had fell inside my pocket. Because I was outside, left my cell phone inside, which I learned to never do that again. Left my cell phone inside, and thank God my keys didn't hit the ground when I was inside. I thought they fell inside. When I locked the door, they locked behind me, but no, they actually fell inside my pocket. So God was looking out for me right there. Gray screen. Yeah, she got in. I can hear the door. She got in. Good gracious, they must be some sound sleepers. All you do is tap one door once and I'm up. We do this screen? Still color change out. Slow color change out. So as I said before, as you can't see contrast, you can't see color. I hate it when people come up there and saying, oh, we got a gray screen. You're not seeing color. You can't. That's why you're told to calibrate. It's the first thing they tell you to do is calibrate. That's why I was trying to, we got the video, but that's why I was trying to track down one of the videos, because in the video clearly was stated that the screen would get much better once the customer calibrated the screen. Literally have a copy of that demonstration, but it went missing for some reason. Well, we all know it went missing. Look at it, can't even pick up the commercials correctly. This is why gray screens and white screens are absolutely horrible for your business, because in a business, you are not going to be in a dark and ambient light controlled environment. That's why the screen paints are outdated. Yeah, where are you going to use a gray screen at? Enough white screens don't even pull up properly in a fully lit environment. So where in the world is a gray screen going to help you out if you have to use it in an environment like this? Where's a white screen going to help you out? You can look at my model on my projector. It's a 5200 lumen projector by Sony. So the first thing what a person will do if they have to be in an environment such like this with all this light, they're going to go buy themselves a venue. They're not going to get a regular household projector or a theater projector. They're going to pick up a venue. It's a commercial projector. They're used for using environments with extreme amounts of light. And they're going to go for high lumens, which most are going to go with 52s or 5,000. 52 lumen projector. 6,000, 7,000 is complete overkill unless you're going to be outside with something like that. You don't need a 7,000 lumen projector inside. People are going to walk in front of that thing eventually. You can get jacked up pretty bad walking in front of a 7,000 projector. It's overkill. You don't need it. So they probably get like 5,000 lumens, 52, somewhere in that 56, somewhere in that range, the 5,000 range in that area. So how is it going to help you? You can't. It doesn't even pick up. As I told you before, number one, you're going to have to deal with the light in the environment. That's definitely going to wash your screen out. Number two, you're using 5,200 lumens or 5,000 lumens. You're introducing more light to the screen. So you're washing out even faster. Black screen. And the biggest mistake people make at the end of the day, they think because the screen pulls the highest white level, pulls the better color. No, you just described the white screen. What does a white screen do at the end of the day? You get a white screen, you set it up, you can't pick up color, you can't pick up contrast, they wash out, and they are the cheapest screens that you can get on the face of the planet. So that should tell you something right there. Of any form of projection screen maker, the white screen, if they do have one, is considered to be the cheapest screen out of the collection. So we'll show you the white surface first. There's our white levels right there. Now, for some people sitting there saying, well, no, you don't get it. You don't see it. That's why you will never understand black technology, because you don't see it. There's a tone that has to pull up. The tone, if the tone was pure white, then the problem you would have is the screen would have an issue pulling color. Y'all don't see it, y'all don't understand it. Y'all still going by old traditions. This is why I'm going to have an easier time, and I'm sorry to say this, to educate people offline than online, because people online are brainwashed to think that at the end of the day, a white surface is going to pull the best color. Then if that's the case, why do you have a gray screen? Why don't you have a white screen? Because the industry brainwashed you and making you believe that, oh, a white screen is going to pull the best color, the lighter screen is going to pull. No, it's not going to work that way. Gunmetal changed all that when they came on the scene. So let's show you again. I'm going to turn it to the side. Same image right there. All technology that is not any screen at the end of the day that is not 100% white will not have the ability to pull white level, a perfect white level, which is virtually impossible. Well, not yet, but can't talk about that right now. But anyway, will not have that ability. A gray screen will not have the ability to pull the same white level as a white screen. Light gray, whatever color you make it, doesn't make a difference. The only way a white screen can pull the same level as a white screen, it has to be white. It's the only way. So for those people come out there and saying, oh, my gray product pulls a high white level, has extremely a perfect white level, no, that'd be impossible, because you would have to pull the same white level as a white screen. And therefore, since your screen paint isn't white and it's gray, that means your white levels automatically drop from the door. And the darker the product, the faster your white levels start to drop, unless you have ability to be able to maintain white levels. Like gunmetal technology has a reflective surface that allows the screen to pick up much higher white levels, even though the surface is darker. Without that reflective surface, that gunmetal does not have the ability to pick up a proper white level. But it's not going to pick up a white level as white as a white screen. That's virtually impossible. There's a certain tone that they pick up that allows the screen to generate a decent white level, perfect color, and amazing contrast. The main goal behind projection screens is not the white levels. The main goal is contrast and color. It's been that way since day one. The problem with the people who make great products today, they don't understand because they weren't from the past. From the past, when we had all white screens, before gray screen paints were ever thought of, it was all white screens. So you had to be stuck in a dark environment. You had to calibrate. You had to do all this stuff at the end of the day. Then someone came up with the idea, we don't know who invented the gray screen paint. It never says. Someone just, it was called the YouTube paint, but there were no claimers to it. Everybody had YouTube paint. So it's basically a white and black mixture that made the YouTube paint. When you made this paint, your white levels automatically dropped. But the main goal was not the white levels. The main goal was to have something that you can use in a somewhat lit environment, a little better than the white screen, and to pick up better color and contrast. That was the whole purpose of gray mixes, to pick up better color and contrast. These jokers come out and basically try to rewrite history and try to say, oh, no, it's about the white levels. If it's about the white levels, then why don't you just buy a white screen? Because then you'll be getting a 100% white level. So again, you don't get it. It's a certain tone that you're looking for. As you can see, my screen in the next room that's playing the beautiful beach scene, it's picking up crystal clear. You can see the blue skies, you can see the green trees, you can see even the brown and the bark. You can see the white sand perfectly from where we're sitting at. So it has to be to generate some form of white light to do that. So let's go over to a white surface. So again, as you can see, the white surface pulls the highest white level over the gray screen at the bottom, over the, actually it's the same thing as a white sheet of paper, but it's actually higher than a gray screen. But when you look at our technology, you think, oh, but that image is dirty. No, the image isn't dirty. The image is picking up a certain tone, and they don't understand the tone. And that tone we can do right there. We can take a black piece of some black paint or fabric or whatever, and we can show at the end of the day that we pick up a higher white level than black paint or black fabric because it doesn't have anything special in those products to be able to receive white light. Where if you do this with a gray screen will match another gray screen. It shows no difference, which means there's nothing special about it. That's why you have to do gray versus gray demonstrations, which they do not do. So let's see the screen right here, the white surface, pulling a very high white level. Let's see how well it does in seeing color. Red screen. Now, in order for our technology to be able to receive red, it has to pick up white light. And there you go. I swear I can teach a class on this. I've had so much knowledge in this form of projection setup that basically I can teach you so much. At the end of the day, when you hear other people talk, do they know what they're talking about? Simply, you watch the person try to make our products, which was quite embarrassing, and they couldn't even explain what the water was used for when they mixed the product. And we don't use water in our product, by the way, but anyway. You couldn't explain. He said, water what? Why did you put the water in the product? What was the purpose of putting water in the product? Can you explain that crystal clear without basically tripping over your own words? The reason why you can't explain things correctly on camera is because you don't know what you're talking about. We call it winging it. So in order for the red screen to generate that level that you're seeing right now, that bright level that you're seeing, it has to have some form of white in it, which means it has to be to receive white light. The sad thing is when people call themselves trying to make black technology, they put white paint in it. Why do y'all do that at the end of the day? You know that you don't do that, right? I sat there and said that on camera before the video started. You don't put white paint in it because it off balances the black, which means you come out gray. Gee, where's Louise? Blue screen. Isn't that interesting? This is what we're doing at my showrooms. So we're doing it on a much bigger scale. 5200 lumens, white screen's not picking up jack. 5200 lumens, gray surface is not picking up jack. It's blended into that white surface though, but it's not matching our screen. That's why I said there's no difference between a gray screen and a white screen. They both do the exact same thing. Where if you look at our technology next to a white screen, well, there's a huge, massive difference. So we have a challenge today. The challenge is two. In these two challenges, we want to see any gray screen out there produced in a fully lit environment. I'm talking about if you got windows, pull those things all the way up. I want to see that whole entire wall just bright with light. That's what I want to see. And I want to see that screen pull a 100% contrast. And next to a comparison, you can use black paint. Let's see if those 2 million to 1 that you paid for at the end of the day, or anybody has 2 million to 1, 20 million to 1, I'm sorry, not 20 million to 1, 20,000 to 1 contrast, 30,000 to 1 contrast, whatever you have at the end of the day. Let's see if you can match a black sheet of paper or come close to matching it on a gray screen, which we know that's virtually impossible. Second challenge, what is the difference between a gray screen and a white screen? What's the benefit of it? See that difference right there you're seeing? That's the difference you're going to have to show. That's a massive difference between night and day. And you have to do it at fully lit. If we can't get a 5200 lumen Sony to pull, you guys are going to have a really rough time at it. And mind you, we're 14 feet and some change away from the screen. So what we learned here today is that just because the screen doesn't generate that white level doesn't mean it can't see white. Because if it couldn't see white, well, you wouldn't be able to see that. This screen would outperform it. And that screen at the bottom would outperform it because they pulled the higher white level. No, because the screen pulls a higher white level is not a good thing. It's an extremely bad thing. And therefore, since you can see those colors correctly, what will you be doing? You'll be in a dark environment because that'll make your colors pop a little better, and you'll have to calibrate. This is why black technology doesn't require calibrations. Now, for those people who have been spreading dumb lies saying, oh, calibrating your projector, and God, they don't think when they talk. They really don't. I memorize just about everything. I'm good with numbers and memorizing stuff. I watched somebody do a tutorial video on how to calibrate a projector, and it didn't involve adjustments, it involved software. They sell software for calibrating projectors and TVs and all that stuff. Going into your projector and changing your settings is called adjusting, not calibrating. This is why people who get on, it's your responsibility when you're making these products that your products are tested, that you can back up everything you speak of on camera, that you basically do not lie to basically justify your cheats at the end of the day, because you have people that are buying for the first time. And these are people who need to be guided directly on buying the proper equipment and things they need to get the best for their investment and the best possible entertainment they can get from the projector setup. So you jokers have literally got to stop lying to people. There are only 2 people who do this. From all the different accounts I checked, from Goose Screen, from Paint On Screens, we've tested all of them, from different people who sell on Mighty Brighty and all of them, people we tested and watched their demonstrations and gone through their specifications. They don't lie. They say it as it is. They never claim they're great products ever to be able to pull a contrast level equal to a black screen, or to say that they don't need ambient light rejection. If you're going to tell me at the end of the day that you don't require ambient light rejection, there is no way in the world that you can sit there and do demonstrations, which I see a lot of people misleading, doing demonstrations showing doors and open windows and stuff, and cheating by using demonstrations that they know that are going to wash out less, which are colors. Can't do that. Because what's going to happen is the customer, he or she, is not going to sit in your environment at the end of the day. There is no way in the world. Say my screen paint never existed, okay? And say the only 2 people was these 2 people at the end of the day who made products. If you're doing demonstrations and you're basically showing an open door and windows, then I'm thinking at the end of the day that I can use that screen in my same environment. Now later on, I'll find out it is not going to work. It's going to wash out because I have a lot of light in my environment. So then what's going to happen then? I only told because my colors don't work right on my projector. I spent all this money on this machine. I did the research, went out and purchased it, and I find I got to calibrate this machine to get the colors to work. Then what was the point of it saying it got millions of colors attached to it if I'm never going to see this, and I got to sit around, I got to calibrate this monster to get it to work? I'm not going to be a happy camper at the end of the day. And then claiming the product is because you're using it in an environment that's pampered, so I use it in mine and my screen washes out on me, I'm going to be even more ticked off at the end of the day. This is why false information is a bad idea. And this is why at the end of the day, when you go to people's websites, you need to read through their specification sheets, information they have on the site, to make sure these people know what they're talking about. The philosopher, that's another person who lies constantly on camera. This stuff you're talking about doesn't even make any sense. And if you're going to challenge my knowledge versus yours, I was here longer than you. I've done more testing than you at the end of the day. I have more experience than you. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man, these people at the end of the day do not do their jobs correctly. And I sat there and told you the history of gray paint. Y'all don't even know the history of the very product you make because you weren't there. And even when I was there, I still was 5 years late in. That's how far the gray screen paint products go back. I was 5 years late. Because when I came in, they had something called pearlescent, black paint, and white paint. And that's how they made the YouTube paint. That's how it was made. That's how everybody was making. And when I came in, 2 of the products, they weren't making anymore because they had some problems with them, with health issues. So I came in 5 years too late. So the gray paint has been around for a long time, way before I came into the scene. When I came into the scene, gray paint was all the more. And I remember, like I said, going over to AVS Farms and just watching hours and hours of people just constantly sanding their walls down because everybody wanted to have a product that was just like Goose Screen. Goose Screen was the ultimate screen paint product at that time. And Goose Screen required you to have walls that had no imperfections in them because the product was kind of thin, and this would cause imperfections on the surface. You can see everything pushed through. So the walls had to be perfectly sanded down. And there were just people just spending hours and hours just sanding down their walls to get that perfect wall to apply their product. Until we came in and we showed them that you didn't have to do all that. That demonstration you see, paint 1 hour or less, that's what that demonstration was for. This is where we got into an argument with a administrator on AVS forums called Mississippi Man. Me and him had arguments back and forth, left and right. He had a product that he gave away for free. And the reason why he gave away for free is because 13 areas in that product, half of that stuff involved a hazmatic mask. I mean, it was really some brutal stuff he had in there. But everybody was trying to make that perfect gray screen paint at that particular time. And that's the reason why he couldn't give it away. I wonder if that's still displayed on AVS forums. I wonder if I can look up his old channel, because I'm pretty sure he's not on there anymore. But I wonder. I'll never forget Mississippi Man. He had a icon with a brain. So brain. He was an intelligent guy. He was very intelligent. But at the end of the day, they just didn't get the concept of screen paint. No one's going to spend hours and hours. You thought the instructions that freaking, I got to say anyway, his name, Danny's instructions were insane. You ain't seen nothing. The instructions on some of the stuff they made back then was freaking insane. It was insane. That's 16-step applications, crazy stuff. Because people felt at the end of the day, the more complex the steps were, the more advanced the screen paint product was. We came on 1 hour or less, painted in a screen that required no priming, none of that stuff, went over it, done. And of course, we got banned for it. Because again, that went against everybody's rules on AVS forums. If you go on AVS forums, one thing I like about AVS forums is a lot of people, there's some people you meet at the end of the day that will help you here and there. But most of the people act like they know everything. They got serious ego issues over there. So you come in there and you do something better than everybody else, they'll ban you for that kind of stuff because, again, it disrupts the flow. Can't have 90 people saying that they're right and one person doing it right and making 90 people look wrong. That's not going to go well. So somebody got to go. Guess who's going? It'll be you. And then you got people like those individuals trying to comment on that. You weren't around when that happened. How the freak you know what went on? You don't know anything. You weren't even there. You weren't even thought of. Gee whiz, are we that desperate for attention? But there you go. See right there? Now I can come on camera and I can show you 5,200 lumens. I can show you 14 feet and some change. I can show you a demonstration with a white surface next to my screen. I can show you a demonstration with the white surface on the gray level, half and half, and show you there's a difference. And I can also link you to the side and you can look at the screen in the next room. Black screen. Now this is the one color we don't see gray screens too. A 100% solid black screen. Because you can't see it. We can. Because our screen doesn't turn gray. Did you notice that? We can project black, solid black right onto the screen. Does that screen turn gray in any way? See any ashy look to it? Nothing. It's producing black. That's a challenge that I have for you gray screens today. Not just one person, all of you. Can you basically project the color black off your screen and bring back black? Because in our demonstrations, we never claim, ever, to have a black technology that pulls a 100% white level. Now, we don't do that at all. That's why we have white level tests, white level demonstrations. That's why all that stuff, when you see that white surface laying against my screen, that's why all that stuff is displayed on our website. We show you all that. All the tests are there. You can see the difference between a white screen and our product. We show white levels, we show snow levels, we show all that stuff. But the problem I see with the gray screen paint products or white products, I want to see white screens, with the gray products, we don't see you doing any contrast levels at all. You make claims at the end of the day. We see pictures and demonstrations where y'all make claims that y'all can see a contrast level, a black level equal to gunmetal, a black level equal to black technology. Y'all make those claims, but you never back them up. That's why you buy those projectors with those insane contrast levels, because that way you can pick up a darker shade of gray to try to show that you can actually pull that image, but you really can't. And that's what I want to see. Demonstration, simple and plain. Back up your claims. Show me a 100% black level. Ain't no way to get around that one, period. Now, what they like to use is they like to use the LG Jazz, because the LG Jazz has some contrast, but it's mostly blended with a lot of color. They can fake that. You can't fake a 100% black level. Can't do it. me show you something real quick. If we have it here, and we should have it here. I don't think we have it. I don't think we have it. I don't exactly have it. Gotta do those tests, they're important. I don't know why nobody wants to do them. I don't know why. Where I keep putting it. I keep losing. I'll have to get some gray surfaces or something out here. We don't have enough. We should have it. We don't have it. There's at least call that a YouTube field trip. Every time we have it and then we use it. And we have it and we lose it. And we have it and we lose it. We have it and we lose it. There we go. We got it around here somewhere. Just trying to figure out where we had it at. I knew we had one around here somewhere. All right. Let's see. This works out fine. This works out just fine. All right. All right. This is perfect. So I had to go look for it. I usually don't have things sorted out too well sometimes. This is gunmetal technology. That's gunmetal. We have to get more sample sheets. That's a DMP supernova. This is gunmetal. It's not the darkest, but it's still gunmetal. For a minute. So, that's the gunmetal right there. So after what we're showing a 100% black screen right now. The projector is projecting black off our surface. This is why there's no way in the world you would ever pass this test. Due to the fact, as I said before, you can't register black, you won't be able to see it. Where us, on the other hand, when it comes to gunmetal or darker technology, we know that when it can't pick up a 100% white level, that's virtually impossible. But we have to pick up a high enough to be able to receive white light. As you're seeing in the next room. See? That's my screen, fully lit environment. In that environment, gray screens don't survive because there's too much light in there. I can show you all my bright levels pulling up on that beautiful beach right there with no problem. But here, when you pull 100% black level, you can't see it. The biggest lie that I see coming out of gray screens, and I hear it all the time, that we pick up a contrast level. No, you do not. You don't see contrast. The darker the screen, the darker the shade of gray. So the reason why the gunmetals pick up a much better shade of gray because it's a much darker screen, but they can maintain their white levels. And this is the reason why you need to see white level tests on darker gray screen paint products. That's extremely important, because if not, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a muddy screen. Keep in mind what happens if it doesn't have the right way to be able to accept white light. You're going to have an issue with a muddy, dirty screen. So that has to be tested. This is why, very important when you're buying a darker product or mix, you need to make sure that those white levels were tested. That's why we can't find test demonstrations under certain products. See that screen right there? This is black paint right here. It's the same as what we have on the wall, right? This is what I had to show my backers. Sorry about that. Got speakers and stuff all over the place on my floor. There we go. Now, do you see the difference between the black paint and our technology? See that beach anymore? That beach is dirty. This is why tests like this are extremely important for people who make darker gray products. Because this is one of the problems that's going to pop up. That mixture with the silver, whatever that crap was, yeah, when we make that stuff, we're going to run it through the same test that we run a black screen through. It is going to fail miserably. It will not be able to maintain the black surface. It will not pick up a white surface. Its color levels will drop dramatically. It is going to come out extremely dirty on white levels. Interesting, isn't it? Let me get that off my screen. It looks so bad. Yeah, that's better. That's much, much better. All right. That's another thing you don't see in demonstrations either. Tell me in what demonstrations when you're watching a gray screen paint product, tell me when you see someone paint down everyday gray paint and stick it against their screen in any demonstration. Do you see that? That's another thing we notice. We never see it in those demonstrations. I've never seen any of y'all take some bare silver screen, the network gray, or any gray paint. It could be bullseye, primer. It doesn't make a difference what it is. How many of y'all take that gray paint and y'all stick it against y'all demonstrations and all y'all demonstrations? None of y'all do that because you'd match. That's why you don't do them. Skip a lot of stuff in your demonstrations. Just taking a screen and sitting there and showing pretty colors across it is not enough. Oh, we got the one behind us. So where is, this is my biggest pet peeve, losing remote control in the environment. Are you not talking today with anybody? Not having a conversation today. Okay, we need to put that up before I get killed. Oh, let me see. Fire stick way over here. Yep, that's just what right. Let's go with the red screen. Now, if you look at the gunmetal screen pulls up a better color than the white screen. But next to our technology, we pick up a better red than the gunmetal. By the way, that's a $5,000 surface laying against my screen. Jamie, real quick, I hate to add you in this video demonstration real quick, but next time you whine and cry about how much my price costs and you want to call my product expensive, I can do things in my demonstrations that you can never do, like fully lit environments, showing the difference between my product and a white surface with a huge, massive difference. Pull 100% black levels, and on top of that, take out a $5,000 screen with ease. That's what makes my product worth more than what we sell it for. You, on the other hand, you match house paint. So, yeah, unless you can beat that stuff, people are just going to buy the house paint, which I'm planning to do. If you can't show me a demonstration, why I should give them $60. So that's why. Blue screen. The reason why you can't do this demonstration, or anybody with a gray screen can't do this demonstration, because in a fully lit environment, that gunmetal is going to maintain with no problem. This is the reason why we don't see gunmetal demonstrations versus gray screens. You will not pass them. But we can. Purple screen. Our purple, please. Purple, purple, purple. There we go. So it's not just one person. I'm talking about anybody with a gray screen. Anybody with a gray screen, we don't see gunmetal. If I go online right now and I say gray screen versus gunmetal technology, how many will I actually pick up? How many will be in fully lit environments? How many will show star field and contrast? And how many? It'll be nothing but bright colors and dark environments. That's what we'll find. And if we do find any, which you probably won't find any at all. We already did a search on 3 people. We couldn't find anything matching certifies. Starfield screensaver. Starfield screensaver. I notice when I say keywords like that, we'll see people drop out of the room left and right. They don't want to see that at the end of the day because they know the outcome. It reminds them at the end of the day that we are right and they're wrong. There you go. So keep in mind that the $5,000 DMP Supernova sitting on that wall right there, our product at the end of the day pulls a higher contrast with a 2001. I think we have a 2001 contrast or 3001 contrast. We pull a higher contrast level. A projector with a 2 million to 1 is stuck in a dark environment, kissing a screen, and still can't maintain a 100% contrast. It's submerged in the dark. That tells you at the end of the day that your projectors don't work if you're using the wrong screen. The screen makes or breaks your projector. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Let me see something for a minute. Very people back dressed right now. I gotta get dressed, but I gotta go to the door for something. Now, let me show you something here. That's the gunmetal technology. For you gray screens out there who think you can take on a gunmetal, that's a DMP Supernova. It's not the darkest one I've seen. The Dark Star 9 is actually much darker than that one. The Black Diamond is darker than all of them. If you were to do this test demonstration on your gray product next to a gunmetal technology, this is what you would be facing. You wouldn't be able to beat that screen at all. It'll pick up better color, it will pick up better contrast, and it will maintain its white levels with no problem. I've tested enough of them to know. I have more experience in testing gunmetal and certified screens because I've done more tests than anybody else. So first of all, you don't know what you're up against. But I do challenge you. If you, at the end of the day, if you're going to say that your products are just as good as ours, because we can take out gunmetal technology, then we expect to see tests on gunmetal certified screens versus your products, and no dark environments. Because when we see demonstrations of screens in dark environments, that means the reason why it's in a dark environment is due to the fact because they can't maintain in a fully lit environment, and they run the risk of the screen washing out. That's why they're in the dark doing those demonstrations. They should be in fully lit environments. All right, well, let me see. I think I'm going to set up for what's the difference between a gray wall and a white screen. A gray screen and a white screen, what's the difference? Let's see what projector we want to use for this one. We need something pretty beefy. Let's see what we're going to use. Oh, I forgot we got a 5,000 Christie on the floor. We can use that one instead. Yeah, that'd be perfect. We do have 5,000 Christie on the floor. Talking about to put your area back the way it is. There we go. Perfect wall right there. It's gray. So you're saying that's not gray, that's white. Again, good white, Jamie. Your people are colorblind. See that white trim? What color is the wall? It's gray. Now they had an argument with somebody came over and told me that wall's not gray, that wall's white. I was like, do you not see the trim around the freaking door? Gee whiz. People drive at the end of the day, that's scary. Do you know the color of traffic lights? That's another question right there. Freaking scary today. Now, mind you, when we do this demonstration, we will be here. I'm gonna move my shirt back a little bit. We'll be here. We're not gonna be sitting on top of the screen. We don't do our demonstrations like that. If I have to get up and I have to walk over to that screen to show you the difference, it's a failed demonstration. There's nobody gonna be sitting that close to a screen that big. I don't even sit that close to the ones we have in here. So we should be able to pick a difference up from here. We shouldn't have to be all the way back there to do it. Let me put my projector how far I power down this machine. Here we go. Yeah, it looks so fresh over there. Now you'll be back. All right, we're going to put our projector here, so we'll be behind the projector because we're too close. This is where we should be at right here. This is perfect, so we'll set up right here. Let me see, we'll use the 52, we'll use 5,000. Let me see. This one's Keystone. It's Keystone investing. So we're going to use 5,000 lumens, projector, 1920 by 1200. That's what we're going to use. What's this extra cord for? Oh, okay, that would help. Put that in. All right, that's perfect. this one in here. So it shouldn't be in here. So my control should not be in this section. Oh, no, that was coming. We have to get a charge here. Let's put a charge on. There we go. Let me see. Little power there. Figure out where our fire sticks are at for this unit. Got like three sets in here somewhere. I don't know which one's which. Clean up in the next row. We don't want to jump in here. Well, when you did the demonstration, when you do any demonstration, anybody, just not one person, you're not supposed to be on top of the screen. The customer has to see the difference of the distance of where he or she is going to be sitting. He or she is not going to walk over to a screen at 120 inches and stare directly into it to see the difference. What good is that going to do with the customer at the end of the day? So that's where you're going to be sitting at. That's not even, doesn't even make any sense. So let me see. Oh yeah, we're zoom Dolby out. I forgot these projectors gotta be back a little bit farther. But we're good. That means we're right up top. We're at 5,000 lumens. This is a full 1080p projector. I got blue tabs on the white paper. As you can see, my walls are gray because you can see the trim, which I had an interesting conversation with somebody about how the walls were white. I'm thinking, like, you do no traffic light colors and I'll pray you don't drive. But it's a gray screen. It's actually the exact same gray screen as a lot of great products I see already. And yes, I can actually vouch for that because I was the one who went in, and when we did the network rate 773, I was the one on camera before anyone did it said, this is going to match. Was I wrong? I wasn't, was I? I was so right, the videos were deleted for good, or trying to be covered up. So, is there a difference between a gray screen and a white screen? No, there isn't. The problem you have here is the darker some people try to make the gray product to separate themselves from the white screen, because I already know what y'all thinking already, people who do this at the end of the day. The problem you're going to have, your white levels are going to start dropping even faster. So the problem with gray screens is the fact they just can't seem to get that click. Now, if there was no gunmetal existed, no black existed, then this screen would reign supreme, because again, you know, you really don't have to worry too much about, people don't think too much about white levels, only about color and contrast. And again, you really don't have to do too much of adjusting back and forth. But now we have certified gunmetal technology that produces a much more darker and beautiful image, much beautiful colors. It's ambient light rejection technology. And it, as you can see, produces way better than a gray screen. As you can see, black technology, we outperform all of those with no problem whatsoever. Whether you naysayers like it or not, our product can outperform those screens. So what we have here is the fact that the adjusting the great product, this is where your nightmare starts for those who make great products. Since I haven't seen any tests, what happens if you take a gray mixture? How badly do the white levels drop? Can it maintain? Will it come up too dark? That's the problem you're going to have at the end of the day. You're going to have to be able to prove and show that before you actually sell a gray mix to begin with. So if you make it darker to try to beat the white surface, then you run the risk of your white levels dropping. And then now, since your product's darker, you're going to have to do those white level tests, which are extremely important because people need to see how dark your levels are coming up. We all know the gunmetals are going to drop. Our technology is going to drop when it comes to white levels, but we don't want it to be the same as black paint. As when we do tests, when black versus black, we show people at the end of the day, this is where our white levels lay over another black surface. You're going to have to do the exact same thing. And you're not going to do it one time. You're going to do it multiple times on multiple different projectors and multiple different environments on multiple different surfaces over and over again. That's what you're going to do. If you're not used to doing those tests, then you shouldn't be in the business. Cut that out. Stop doing that. You know better than that. There is no difference. Now, if you make it lighter to try to bring up your white levels, then your contrast level suffers. And your color suffers along with it. If you don't have contrast, you don't have color. They kind of work hand in hand. So what do? If you make it darker, then your white levels suffer. And you're going to have to have a screen be able to pull and see white light. That's going to be a problem too also too, because colors are going to get darker, skin tones will get darker. It's going to look pretty bad. You make it too light, then you're going to end up blending into a white screen and you can't pull contrast or color. That's where you're stuck at. So let me get this straight with a gray screen. You can't pull the white levels of a white screen because they're higher, and you can't pull the contrast levels of a black screen. So what are you? At one point, you could pull better contrast. You could put better color. If black technology and gunmetal didn't exist, the only screen you had to battle against was a white screen. So easily, you could take that on with no problem. You could still maintain your white levels, as you can see, but you'd be to pick up a little bit better contrast and color. I don't know what they make paint out today, boy. Gray paint today is brutal. I don't know what the freak they got in this stuff now. This stuff matches easily. They have just about everything you could throw at it. That's why I sat there and said on camera when I popped that Network Gray 773. I said, I'm so glad I don't make gray paints anymore. I couldn't imagine going against this stuff, the stuff I was making back then. That stuff would have put me out of business. But now, since you do have gunmetal technology and you do have black technology, where does a gray screen lay? You can't say you pull the highest contrast level. That's virtually impossible. Gunmetal would come before you, and then it'd be us, because we pull black. And you can't say you pull highest white level, because that would be a white screen. So what do you pull? Nothing. That means that you are now obsolete. The only reason why people still buy gray screens is because they can't afford gunmetal technology. How many people out there are going to be to spend $3,000, $5,000 for a 100-inch screen? We're not 100-inch screen. We're not talking about a 120 or 150-inch screen unless you got about $17,000 or $18,000 laying around in your back pocket to spend on something at the end of the day that our technology can come in and roll over top of it. That's got to hurt at the end of the day. I've been to a couple of forum sites where we had people in there who had screens. They spent that much money in there. We come in there with our technology, take their own sample sheet, put it against their screen, and blow the screen out of the water. You spend how much for that screen? But it's not their fault because they didn't even know our technology even existed. God just sat there and said, if I knew your stuff had existed, I would have never spent the money on this. This is why when you come and you say, my stuff is very expensive. No, my stuff isn't expensive. My stuff could be extremely expensive for what it's designed to do. But look at that. What's the difference? There is no difference at all, period. Probably a slight little bump or hiccup. Let's see something real quick. Red screen. See how much of a difference you're going to get. Oh, this is not going to go well. That's it. I told you it's a hiccup. That's all you get. Slight little hiccup. That's all you get. Now, in order for you to see the difference, I would have to push you all the way over there to see the difference. LG food demonstration. We'll just add this in with the video too. It's a little long, we'll just add it in too. We'll do that and then we'll add this with it. So there isn't no difference between, there's a slight little bump, a slight little hiccup. From where we're sitting at right now, you will never see the difference in that. Any demonstration, you clearly watch somebody walk over to a screen, their finger distance from the screen, You literally would have to be that close to the screen to see the difference. That's like a screen door effect on a projector. Screen door effects don't pop up on black screens because we can camouflage that. Where a white or gray screen is going to pull up the screen door effect. You know what color the screen door effect is? It's black. It's a black screen that pops up. So how would you see a black screen on a black screen? It sounds going to sound weird to say that. A black screen door effect on a screen that's physically black, because it'll camouflage it. That's why, because the screen's black. Where this would show up even higher on a white or gray screen. There's so many benefits to black technology. It's not even funny. Now we saw this demonstration being done, correct? Same demonstration. Told you I can mimic the exact same demonstration. The whole wall we have here is his product. Just about every product. Oh, there we go. Perfect example. I know all these demonstrations like the back of my head. I know every time I watch it, I know where it came from. So for that one, I couldn't find that one. But this one right here, I know from the door. So how much? So if a person sits there and says that my gray walls here are not the same as yours, I'll buy your product and I'll stick against the wall. Just send me an email confirmation. That's all you got to do. We'll pull up the email confirmation. I won't be buying it because if I buy it, you'll mess with it. We'll have somebody else order it. That way you can't mess with it. That way you can't tamper with it or put anything in it because you don't know who's ordering the product. And you can't treat your, do you treat your customers that way? Or you don't. So that's how we'll get it out of you. And I'll put you right against this wall. You know how embarrassing that would be if you end up matching my walls in my apartment? That's not going to go well. And we're not going to walk over to the screen. We're not doing it. We're doing it at a distance where I should be at. Where I have the projector sit at, that's where I have to be at. So how much confidence do people have in their products? They're gray screens. If you listen to the video of the network gray matchup and the bare super screen, you would have heard him say that there's a slight hue discoloration, contrast is off, it's an ivory white. Our screen's producing a high white, it's producing an ivory. That'd be impossible. Network gray is actually brighter than your screen. When you painted it down, it was actually brighter than your screen, much lighter. So it would have picked the higher white level. But there's no difference. That's like people went out and spent $700 for a valve screen. There is no difference between that and a white screen. You could literally just did that with your freaking wall. Or a white screen at that. There is no difference. Same thing. No difference. Let's grab this right here. Now we know we're going to have people coming there saying they're using the excuses. We call them the Karen cries. Oh, he's got to have a special camera. It's a Samsung Galaxy 10 Plus or 10 or whatever. It's one of them. That's what isn't special about it. It's a regular phone. But you can do the demonstration for us. How about that? That's what I always say in every demonstration. If anyone feels that I did wrong for them in any demonstration, feel free to do it yourself. Go out there and take your product, put a white surface against us, and show us the difference. Don't walk up on the screen. Don't do that. And I bet you he'll try that demonstration. I bet you his environment will be darker than ours. Doesn't make a difference. It's still gonna match. Now if I stick that against my screen, it doesn't even pull up correctly. There's no difference. People, you're not getting anything special. You got products out there that have not been properly tested against gray products. Name one demonstration where you've seen someone take a gray screen and stick it against their screen. So look at the difference like we do on black screens all the time. Name one. I haven't seen any yet. So what is the difference between a gray screen and everyday house paint? What's the difference between a gray screen and a white screen? You know how cheap a white screen is? Wrong unit over here. Which one here? Red screen. So let's take a walk. Let me show you how far. This is what they do in their demonstrations. They put you right up on top of the screen. They go, see the difference in the color? See the difference right there? See how my screen's pulling a higher red light? That ain't nothing at all, period. That's no improvement at all. That's no, where's the improvement at? There's no improvement at all, period. It's the same thing. Oh, we got black. Let's pull black up. You know we're playing black right now, right? We're literally playing black. You think I'm joking? Watch this. Playing it right now. Where's the black at? You can't see black. It doesn't pull. Won't be to pick it up. Doesn't register. What about white levels? Oh, you see that? See the white surface pulls a higher white level than the gray screen? Because it's white, that's why. Even with this light gray, it's still not going to pick up the same white level as a white screen. Yet they do matching colors. Let's go see what blue does for us. Gee whiz Louise, and people still have this stuff on their walls and have this stuff in their homes. This is horrible. Every time I watch a demonstration, I see something beautiful setup, and they got a gray screen in there. That's absolutely horrible. Starfield screensaver. I see it just dozens of times. Every time I go into a forum site, I always see this. Every single time. And they swear to seeing the contrast level. Let me get the lights so I can show you the contrast level. No. You need to show me the contrast levels when the lights are on. Why you gotta turn out the lights to show me contrast? Your projector has what? This projector's have massive amount of contrast capabilities. And you gotta turn the lights out. You're gonna change an environment with a projector with that high of a contrast level to show me a black level? Like, we're done. I had a couple conversations like that. Let me show you with the lights up. Now we're done. My projector has 2,000, 3,000 to 1 contrast, and you mean to tell me I can do this in a fully lit environment? And you got a projector like a JVC, has like a 50 million to 1 contrast attached to it, and you got to turn out the lights to show me the contrast level? We're done. There you go, so you can see it in another way. LG demonstrations. Now, as I said before, if my demonstration here is not believable enough, anyone with a gray screen, you can do this today. Get off of that. I don't want to hear get off of it. Stop being so bossy. Any one of y'all, show me this today. Show me a difference between your product and a white screen. Because if you can't show me this, then at the end of the day, why is the customer buying your product? I can take any one of its white surfaces, even gunmetal technology, and stick it against that screen over there at 1,000 lumens and blow it clean out of the water with no problem whatsoever in a fully lit environment. So show me something. Oh, what about this right here? And I know at the end of the day, y'all have much better projectors than me, so there's no excuses. And the sad thing about it, this is not even screen paint. This is just everyday house paint. You definitely don't want to match this wall. So there was a demonstration done by an individual, we all know who he is, who did a demonstration. What's the benefit of a gray screen? That video went missing because in that video, he matched the white screen perfectly. That's when he was turning out the lights on each side. That video also went missing because his product will match a white screen. And I've already did the research looking for black ambient light rejection screen paints. We're the only ones that come up. Yep, that's it. So here's the options for your expensive investments or whatever you paid for at the end of the day for your business and home. The reason why our technology is considered to be the future, because you can go out and spend the money for a $5,000 screen, but then again, at the end of the day, we can beat that screen in price, performance, and just about everything else you can possibly think of. So we're actually more advanced than the $5,000 gunmetal technology or $3,000 gunmetal technology, however you want to call it. White surfaces don't match our technology. We've done tons of demonstrations on that. So anyone has a white screen, the difference between our product and your screen, we would be able to blow yours out, clean out the water, no mercy, no problem whatsoever. Gray screen paint products, well, at the end of the day, yeah, we trash our products all day long. Your products can't be gunmetal technology and it matches a white screen. That doesn't do well. And I'm on a 5,000 lumen Christie over there, and you're still not even picking up a difference. And if you're saying at the end of the day that this is not my product, it doesn't match, well, like I said, I can pick up Network Gray 773 for the one individual who did do that test. You got to give him a little credit. He did do the test. He didn't pass it, but he did do the test compared to everybody else who hasn't done the test yet. But again, I'm not going to give you $60 of my money, and I don't think anybody should. I should give you $60 of their money unless you can show a difference between your product and Network Gray. You can do that demonstration again if you want to. Do it live and do that demonstration again. If you're saying your product is different or maybe it's an upgrade, then I need to see that, because there's no way in the world after what I've just seen that I'm going to sit there and give you $60 out of my pocket for something I can just go down to Sherman-Williams and just pick up for $30 a gallon. Other than that, gray screens do the same thing a white screen can do. There's no difference. Need I say anymore? This is where our technology is considered to be far more superior than any screen on the market as we speak right now. There is no gunmetal that can match us. And from the black technology we've seen trying to be developed, you can't even catch up to our testing of alone our demonstrations. White surfaces don't match us. Gray surfaces don't match us. These are the demonstrations you'll be showing offline to convince thousands and thousands of people that will be coming into our showroom, and you're welcome to come down and see those same demonstrations on why our product is the future. Now, if you purchase a white screen, then you don't want to paint that with a gray screen paint product, because again, you could do the same thing with the white screen. You just wasted money on something that you already have, just to get a little bit of a hiccup of color. That's it. When it comes to our technology, you see the big difference. red screen. That's the difference between our product and a white screen. Well, I like this whole switch back and forth thing. This is pretty fun. Wow. Gray screens, the white levels come up way too high. That's why I can see contrast in color. What are you mad about? What are you so angry about now? You're always angry about something. There you go. There's the white levels right there. Your screen don't register at all. They can't. Not in our technology, they won't. Same 5,000 projector? No problem. Let's do this better. Let's put you right over there. So you're going to be right up close. Okay? I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to stick this one over here. There we go. See it right there? Let's look at that again. See that? It doesn't match. Oh, they hate these. They hate these demonstrations so much. They really do hate these demonstrations. That's messed up. That really is messed up. Now, like I said, I'm gonna allow y'all to put your money where your mouth is at. You send me a link and you tell me that you want me to put you against this gray wall, and I will. Keep in mind, if you match or even come close to this wall, this is not going to go well. Because that means my entire apartment is coated in your product for free. And that means whatever this product costs at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure is a lot less than what you guys charge for your product. Which means this will downgrade your product dramatically. No customer will buy your product at the price. You will go out of business. So are you willing to take that risk? Mind you, I do live demonstrations all day on black products and fabrics and all that stuff all day. Are you willing to take that risk? You have that much confidence in your product to pull that trigger? I don't think you do. So until then, this is what your product is. That's where the blue tab is right there to show you there's no difference. I gotta say one thing. This demonstration was extremely painful for some people. But again, you don't do these tests. These are just basic demonstrations. This is what the customer should be seeing. This is what people should be doing on live streams. They should be showing you the difference. Not in these dark environments, faking demonstrations as much as they possibly can. Red screen. And mind you, from the distance I'm at right now, you guys are actually closer to the 5,000 lumens. I'm actually at a distance when I turn my projector, because this wall is closer to the screen than this one over here. So from here, I'm at a more of a distance. Here, I'm closer. So you're closer to this projector, which means you should be picking up much better. Hey. Calm yourself today, gentlemen. Calm yourself. Relax. A bunch of birds are in the trees messing with them. So what's going on? Big question. How come people who buy these great products, how come you don't see demonstrations like this? Because they're scared. They stay in pampered environments. They stay in comfortable environments that they know that their product's going to do well in. They can't do a demonstration like this. The screen will fail. They have no confidence in their products. So that's what you're buying for your investment at the end of the day? What is wrong with you? What are you yelling at out the window? Huh? You can't fly, buddy. You can try, but you can't fly. It's not going to work. You don't have the capability to fly. Like Tom and Jerry, you're going to go in there and get them wings with the girdle. The girdle. Tom was trying to fly. That's what he wants to do. He wants to fly. It ain't going to work. All right, let's change this over to blue. Blue screen. This is why you're told to calibrate. And this is why you're told to use ambient light controlled environments. On anywhere on the websites that I haven't read one demonstration that says can be used in a fully lit environment, because it can't. We're at 5,000 lumens, so we can't pick up. All right, I don't want this demonstration going overboard because we're way over our point. So we're going to come back in and see what is the benefit of a gray screen versus a white screen versus a black screen. Keep in mind, as I said before, for anyone, not just one person, anyone who feels that that gray wall I have right there won't match your product, all you got to do is shoot me an email and I'll go buy from you. Now, for the other individuals, I trust you guys. I'll buy from you guys. I know you won't mess with the product. As for the ones that have a history of messing with products and you can't back yourself up because you have multiple cancellations against us and you're actually proven as a risk, we will have somebody else purchase the item. We're not going to tell you when or when they're going to pick it up, because we need to make sure we get the product down here legit and not tampered with. It's a shame we have to say it that way, isn't it? That we have individuals that are so scared and can't back their product that they would literally tamper with it in order to make sure that the product fails or whatever they're trying to do. We don't get the original product, but we'll put a call in and we'll have somebody place the order, because you're not going to get on camera. You're not going to run your mouth about this, that, and the other with your product. All right, that's what we'll come back in. Gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.